Hello and welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, and today we are going to have a look at 3 different Windows 10 mobile games again. And just to let you know before we are starting, some of them are the most stupidest ones I've ever saw. But whatever, we are going to have a look at them because they are just fun stupid, and so we are just going to try it out. And in the end, of course, my name is Gerald. I've got a couple of different things with me, which are, for instance, this Bluetooth mouse. It's just a Bluetooth mouse connectable, for instance, to a smartphone. I could use the exogenous wireless controller in this episode, but I'm not going to because most of the games are not reasonable using this, so we are not going to use it. And in the end we have the Foldable keyboard too, which is this keyboard here, Bluetooth enabled too, but will more or less stay out of the picture in this episode too, because all of the games can only be played with your mouse or your fingers. One of the games we're going to play is a little bit different than that, because you could play it with a mouse, for instance, but I would highly recommend you to use your touch display to play it in any way. But we will try it anyway. And the games are going to be Wet is Death, Bubblegum Air, and Desert Commando Adventure Shooting. Those are the 3 games we are going to have a look at. If you want to know more about all this, why this display, for instance, is showing what it's showing, more or less a desktop-like experience, but we have connected a smartphone to it. In the end, have a look at the corner up there. There are a couple of other videos where I'm going to talk about that more in depth, but in the end, it's Continuum. This is my Lumia 950 XL from Microsoft. It has also cover at the bottom here, or at the back here, and we have a USB-C connector connected to it, which will go through this display dock, which more or less is a USB-C hub, a better one, but it's still a USB-C hub, and that one is connected to the TV, and like that, the smartphone can produce this kind of experience. Problem is that all the games we are going to play today are not Continuum enabled, so we can't really play it in this kind of fashion here, but we are going to mirror the screen for it. So if you want to see more about all this, have a look at the other videos. I'm going to put in some links there, and you can easily see a couple of them where we are going to play it in Continuum mode. Anyway, as mentioned before, to go to the mirror mode, which is available, you can use both of them. You will have to go to your smartphone first. And on your smartphone, as you can see, we see this more or less. In the end, you would see the touchpad. So you could, for instance, use this without a mouse, but with this touchpad, more or less, which is the size of your screen here. And then you can just navigate through all the menus and stuff like that. But what we want to do to get to the mirror mode here is we are going to click on the 3-point button up there. Then there is this display settings. We can click on that. And if you go in here, you just have to scroll down a little bit. There are the advanced settings. If we go there, we can just switch over to mirror mode, and now you're just going to mirror the screen of your smartphone to this. This is more or less what Android, for instance, can do too, and without any kind of stuff there. And the one which is this one is more or less a Continuum one, where you are going to more or less have a specific or more specific interface created for the display you are using. In general, this kind of 16:9 or 16:10 or whatever, big screen display where you are going to want to use, for instance, a mouse and a keyboard or whatever you want to use there. And if you have any kind of questions and so on, have a look at the corner up there. There are more videos about that. But since we are now in the mirror mode, we can now play all the titles which do not support this technology here, so the Continuum technology, and those are the different games we are going to play today. So I'm just going to put this down back here, and I'm going to turn around just to play with you the different games. They are really small games, at least the first 2, which I'm going to call the really weird or stupid ones. Anyway, for that, the first game is going to be Wet is Dead, or Death, better to say. And so I'm going to turn around here. Sorry for that. That is happening if I, for instance, no, go up there. If I, for instance, sit on my own keyboard here, then we are going to get this kind of behavior. For instance, if you go to this button here, you would go to the menu where we are already in. But if we click on that and click again, then you see you're going back to the main menu. Anyway, so let's go to the all apps list, and we are starting with Red is Death. Should be up here, there we are. And really, this is one of the most stupid games I have seen in a long time. I really like those games sometimes because they are just fun, and somebody just didn't take himself serious there, as in this case. It's pretty low in volume, give me 1 sec. Say you. I am evil. Okay. It's really, they really took the time to create pretty nice artwork, I would say. But the game itself is such a stupidly easy one. And yeah, more or less you already see it. What are we going to do in this game? We are going to click a button. And that's more or less everything we are going to do in this game. Here we are. Really nice artwork. I really have to give them that, because they are really took some kind of a nice artwork in here, and somebody draws something nice, and it looks 3D and stuff like that. So really nicely done. But the interesting part about all this is you just have to click on this, and now the game is all about pushing 12 times in this level, and you always have to hit the green one. So in the end, it's more or less like a lottery sometimes, not too much, but a little bit. And you just have to be aware that you can't click on the red one, because red is death. That's all. That's the whole game. I really like it. It's that stupid, that easy. Oh, and as you can see, I just misclicked, and so I got out, and I see a rainbow behind you. So there are a couple of different cool little statements, more or less, which are going to show up there. And other than that, just try to get to the number you see there. You can click very fast behind each other, or you can just click and or wait a little. But in the end, it's by, yeah, there we go. It's more or less not possible to really guess what's happening next, because there's no indication or something that it's going to change. I think the first one is always free. Or maybe there is a little bit of an indication, because the border is going to flash a little, but it can be very fast, and so it's not really giving you a lot of help there. And in the end, there has to be some kind of a randomizer or something running in the background. And like this, we are going to try to go to the 10. And there we go. We have the first one, and now we would have to get on and click more or less as often as the buttons are supposed to seeing you there. And this is more or less what you are going to do, and you are going to get money from all of this. So just try to push the button as often as you can without really running into problem there. And there you can see, if I click a button, it's going to more or less put all the different points in there. And you really have to look a little bit for the border, because it's going to tell you when it's going to happen and how fast it's going to happen, from how fast the transitions are, more or less. But in the end, it's really hard to get fully to the point. Here you go. You have no pity, and so on and so forth. It's really the worst game I can think of, or the easiest game maybe, but with all the nice artwork done here, it's really not that bad, I would say. There are much bad or worse games available somehow. Even so, it's really game-wise the easiest thing you can do. Anyway, fun, and I really like that it's there, because it's just that, yeah, let's say stupid or something. It's really very, very stupid, and I really like that. Okay, so let's have a look for the next game, which isn't much more intelligent, I would say, whatever. It's called Bubble Game Air. It's much more of a game, I would say, but not easy to play neither. I'm going to click on this, or yeah, it's very easy to play but hard to master, which are the best games, I would say. Sorry, yeah, and so here's the game. In the end, what this game is all about is that you are this little monkey and there are all the different kinds of birds you see there. And in the end, it's all the same kinds of birds. But the interesting thing about it is that all these birds have these beaks, which are very, very picky, and so they're going to kill your bubblegum if you are flying around and trying to more or less avoid them. Then you might win this, but you will have to score by just kicking the birds more or less. It's really a stupid game, but I really somehow like it. So if I just click with one button, you can already see I'm just going up. And I may just decrease the volume a little bit. And yeah, here you could already see how I'm going to suffer through this game. Anyway, in the end you can't really let the beaks of the birds come to your bubblegum, and you can kick them away if you are going to more or less get only with the body of your monkey where the birds are. Let's see if I can. I should. Yeah, in the end, it's a little bit like something like the Flappy Bird variant, but you don't have to constantly click or something. He's just going up and down on the screen, and if you, yeah, you could already see it's a blue one. I got it kicked away. And in the end, for everything, how long you're going to survive, and of course, for kicking away the birds, you're going to receive a score. Here we can easily do it. Let's see if I can fly up a little. And like this, you need to try to go through the whole parkour more or less, and all the different obstacles are more or less the birds which are flying there. I'm just using my mouse, clicking it once and just holding will bring you up, and if you are just letting it go, you're going to go to the bottom. The difference is that you really can't die if you are just going down below. So if I'm doing something like this, and I'm just going to go to the bottom here, I'm not going to die, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I can't be killed by any of these birds by just flying at the top neither. And yeah, in the end, just try to hold on as long as you can. You can see there are different kinds of birds which are speeding through. Some are more or less static and you are flying next to them and stuff like that. And so the whole game is all about just staying alive in this kind of fashion. It's really, really simple game. Yeah, not too hard to master in the end. It's fine, you can play it. It's fun to play it, and in the end it's a little bit stupid, because what kind of monkey would have any kind of bubble gum available, and why would the bubble gum lift him up in the air? I'm not sure. But anyway, that's the whole game. It's all about this. You can of course have a look at your score then, see if that score is higher than before, and this is more or less what all of the game is all about. Okay. So let's get a little bit more serious. The next game is going to be something that is more or less a military game. Not really. It's very, very simple to play too, but in the end it's more like a shooter game. Maybe, yeah, it's not really an FPS or something. It's just a shooter game where you are going to have to aim more or less for different kinds of soldiers in this case. And you will have to kill them all and not getting killed by yourself. In the end, the game itself is playable with a mouse. I'm going to try it here, but I would highly recommend you to use your smartphone itself to play this game, because you can't really aim at the same time and shoot at the same time, which is a bummer in this game, because it would be much, much easier if, for instance, they would, a couple of different options there, but one would be just let us trigger the mouse button here to really shoot with the primary gun at least, And there's a secondary one, which is more or less a grenade launcher or something like that. But yeah, just give us the option to go with the primary gun on the left mouse button and not on screen buttons or something. And yeah, everything else would be already pretty okay-ish. I would like to see it in a way that you could play it with the keyboard, but that's, yeah, more difficult to do. But maybe an Xbox One wireless controller or any kind of other gamepad would be ideal for this game. But anyway, we are going to play it with the mouse in this case. I just clicked something. Yeah, okay. So let's have a look at the game itself. I'm going to show you what this is all about. I find it is a little nice game in the end. Desert Command Adventure Shooting is its name. I'm going to click on it and we are going to see what's happening here. In the end, as mentioned before, all you are going to do here is more or less shoot at other soldiers. They are going to shoot at you and you're more or less, I don't know, a Superman or something, because you can really take a lot of bullets to yourself. But as you can see, it's very much made to look like a military game. It's 3D, it's not the best 3D or something, it's maybe, I don't know what this would be, PlayStation 1, maybe 2 level of graphics, but whatever. And yeah, all you have to do is click on play. And now you get a couple of different maps you can play later on, which is nice that you have more than one. And in the end, if you click on the first one, you're going to see some kind of a commander giving you some kind of instructions for this game or the level, more or less. It's very basic, of course. There's a little bit of a storyline put in here, but it's really nothing to write home about. But in the end, all that is going to happen now is you're going to be transported with this helicopter to some kind of a, probably a terrorist camp or something, I'm not sure. Anyway, you are here, and as you can see, you will now be able to more or less aim at different kinds of soldiers. You are of course the one you're seeing in the front, and you just have to shoot all the different soldiers there. There are a couple of different options here. For instance, if you can shoot at those barrels, the red barrels, then you are going to see that they are going to throw up or blow up in the end, and they are throwing up, exactly, and they are blowing up, of course. And here you saw the secondary fire mode, for instance, is this grenade, which is going to help you probably too. Some of the ones are going to run away from you, and other than that you are just going to more or less move around your pointer. If you are playing this with the touch, you are going to, or the touch display in the end, you are of course going to have a better experience than I have, because I have to click the mouse button, move it around, or move the party around and shoot again, and it would be much easier and better with mouse use, at least. If you just could, for instance, move it around, there you saw it, I just hit the barrels behind him, which isn't very useful. This isn't neither. I will have to aim a little bit higher, so I'm not going to... Come on. Up again. Oh, damn. Yeah, as mentioned before, this is the bad thing about this game. You really... you really will have to more or less wait a little to fire and stuff like that. With the mouse, it's not the best thing to do here. As you can see, it really doesn't matter much where you are shooting. So in the end, general direction shoot would be more or less enough to get everybody here. So in the end, if you are shooting a little bit to the left or the right, they are still in the hitbox area or hitbox area. Problem is, everybody is shooting back at you, and you can see that from the top there. There's your health bar, and it's going to be done. Yeah, okay, I lost. In the end, you can play this even with a mouse. Maybe 1 or 2 levels are possible, but in the end, if you really want to play this in a more effective way, then you really have to use your mouse or lose your mouse and use more or less the touch display of your smartphone and play it like that, because then it's probably a nice game. You just have it easier to aim them, because you can use one of your thumbs for aiming, the other one for shooting and stuff like that. It's a much better way to use this game. With the mouse it's a little bit hard and not too much fun, but just try it out. Maybe you can do it better than me, and then it might be fun too. Other than that, we are at the end of the episode, so thank you for watching, thank you for listening. If you have had a great time, just let me know. Maybe put a comment down below in the commentary section. If not, just give it a thumbs up, that's fine too. And of course, if you didn't subscribe till now, do that now. I will see you in the next episode, probably at the next weekend. And so thank you for watching, see you around, and bye. Bye!